It's early June, but for teams with October aspirations, the wheels of strategy are already turning. And for the Los Angeles Dodgers, few seasons have ever demanded more calculated thinking than this one. Despite a star-studded lineup and an ambitious offseason, the team's reality right now is far from ideal, especially when it comes to the rotation. Injuries have piled up once again, and the once deep pitching staff looks increasingly fragile. So naturally, the rumors are starting to swirl. And among them, a name that continues to resonate with Dodgers fans is one that's all too familiar: Walker Buehler. Now, before we dive into the possibility of a Buehler return to Los Angeles, let's set the stage. The trade deadline for Major League Baseball is still several weeks away, the 31st of July to be exact. But insiders have already begun breaking down potential fits, possible moves, and teams that might be forced to make difficult decisions. And when a respected voice like Jeff Passan suggests that Buehler could be the best fit for the Dodgers, people start paying attention. After all, we're talking about a team whose World Series hopes hinge on having a healthy and reliable rotation come playoff time. And Buehler, when he's right, has shown he can be just that. But hold on, it's not as simple as it sounds. Buehler, now wearing a Boston Red Sox uniform, isn't just some expendable piece in a rebuild. He was a significant off-season addition for Boston, arriving on a one-year deal worth over $21 million. That's not the kind of investment a team makes if they're planning to offload him mid-season without a serious return. In fact, the Red Sox made a handful of aggressive moves this past winter, including a high-profile trade for Garrett Crochet and a massive commitment to Alex Bregman. This isn't a team that came into the year hoping to finish fourth. They expected to contend, and yet here we are. Boston has struggled to put it all together. They're not buried in the standings, not by any stretch, but they're hovering in that uncomfortable middle ground. Not quite leading the pack, but close enough to dream of a wild card. That makes their path forward complicated. Could they become sellers? Sure, if things continue to spiral. But even if that happens, insiders like Ken Rosenthal are skeptical about Buehler being on the move. In his view, the Red Sox didn't bring him in just to flip him a few months later, and unless the bottom completely falls out, it's hard to imagine them pulling the plug so quickly. Plus, let's not forget the history. The last time the Red Sox made a major deal with the Dodgers, it was the blockbuster that sent Mookie Betts to LA. That trade still haunts Boston fans, and the front office knows it, repeating that script, especially if Buehler ends up being the missing piece. That pushes the Dodgers over the edge in October, would invite another wave of criticism. That's not something a team with Boston's profile takes lightly, so any potential deal involving Buehler would have to be a perfect storm. The right offer, the right timing, and a clear signal that the Red Sox are ready to pivot toward the future. Now, let's swing the spotlight back to the Dodgers. Do they really need Walker Buehler? On the surface, the numbers might not scream game changer. He's posted a 4-3 record with an earned run average sitting in the mid-4s and a whip hovering around 1.3. That's not exactly ace-level production, but context is everything. For one, Buehler has shown flashes this year, outings where his command looked sharp, his fastball had life, and his competitive edge was on full display. More importantly, he's a proven October performer. His playoff resume includes some of the most high-pressure innings a Dodgers pitcher has thrown in recent years. And that kind of experience isn't easy to find, let alone at the deadline. Of course, the Dodgers didn't stand still this past offseason. They brought in big arms like Blake Snell and Roki Sasaki, while also welcoming back a franchise icon in Clayton Kershaw. On paper, that looked like a rotation built to dominate, but baseball has always had other plans. Injuries hit, inconsistency all crept in, and now LA finds itself in a familiar position, looking for reinforcements. And while they're reportedly in the market for a left-handed bat off the bench, it's the pitching, again, that could make or break their postseason. Dreams. So what makes Buehler such an interesting case is that he checks a lot of boxes without demanding a long-term commitment. He knows the organization, he knows the pressure, and if healthy, he can still go toe-to-toe with the best. That said, everything hinges on Boston's mindset in the coming weeks. If they heat up and close the gap in the division or tighten their grip on a wild card race, there's little reason to believe they'd consider moving him. But if the slide continues, and if the Dodgers make a compelling offer, not just in terms of talent, but in addressing the Red Sox's needs, then maybe, just maybe, a reunion could be back on the table. Still, as of now, it feels unlikely. Not impossible. Baseball's full of surprises, but unlikely. The Red Sox are telling themselves and their fans that they're still in this fight. They built this roster to win, and they're going to give it every shot before shifting into sell mode. And if that means holding on to a pitcher like Buehler, even if he walks at the end of the season, so be it. You don't bring in a guy like that just to bail when things get tough. Not when you've invested this much, both financially and emotionally, into proving that this team can contend. But for Dodgers fans dreaming of a familiar face right into the rescue come October, the next several weeks will be worth watching closely. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that nothing stays quiet around this team for long, especially not when the stakes are this high. Beyond the surface numbers and contract details, there's a deeper narrative unfolding around Walker Buehler and the Dodgers' pursuit of pitching stability. Baseball fans know all too well that the season rarely follows a smooth, predictable script, especially when it comes to the grueling grind of a full rotation. Injuries don't just derail plans, they force teams to pivot, to improvise, and to chase solutions wherever they can find them. For Los Angeles, that reality has been relentless this year. What was once a luxury of rotation depth has become a puzzle of uncertainty and urgency. Buehler's story is layered with complexity because he isn't just any arm on the market. He's a player who carries the weight of past success and the promise of resurgence. His time in Boston has been a mixed bag. The numbers show a pitcher struggling to find consistency, but anyone who has watched his outings closely knows the flashes of brilliance remain. He can dominate lineups when his mechanics align and his velocity stays up. That potential is exactly what the Dodgers crave as they look to piece together a rotation that can carry them deep into October again. But let's talk about the culture around Buehler too. He's a player who has been forged in the fire of Dodgers baseball, a system and environment that values not just talent but toughness, resilience, and a flair for the dramatic when it matters most. His postseason performances have become part of the Dodgers' identity in recent years. Moments when he's elevated his game beyond the ordinary, pitching with a swagger and confidence that can shift momentum in critical playoff moments. That's the kind of intangible value that doesn't always show up in ERA charts or win-loss records, but can define a championship run. Now, shifting to the Red Sox side of this story, the situation is just as nuanced. Boston's front office faces a balancing act between present competitiveness and future flexibility. The team's investments in high-profile players like Alex Bregman reflect a commitment to contending now, but the inconsistencies on the field make it unclear whether they can maintain that pace. The tension between wanting to push for a playoff spot and recognizing when to pivot into a rebuild is a strategic headache, familiar to many teams in similar positions. One of the reasons the Red Sox might hesitate to move, Buehler is tied to what he represents in their rotation. He's not just a piece. He's a significant part of the staff's backbone, a pitcher they envisioned anchoring key starts and helping the team weather rough patches. Trading him away would signal a shift from contention to rebuilding, and given how much the team has invested, that's a message the organization is likely reluctant to send right now. They're still chasing that elusive synergy, hoping that the combination of young talent and seasoned veterans can finally click. On the Dodgers side, the challenge is about more than just adding a pitcher. It's about restoring confidence and stability in a rotation that has been anything but stable. Injuries to key arms have forced them to rely on less experienced starters and bullpen arms stretched into unfamiliar roles. Every injury chips away at their margin for error, and as the season grinds on, the pressure mounts to find effective reinforcements. Buehler's availability, even if unlikely, represents a potential lifeline. His knowledge of the Dodgers system and the pressure cooker of postseason baseball makes him uniquely suited to step in and deliver, assuming he can regain his form. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the baseball world, whispers are swirling that the Los Angeles Dodgers might be on the verge of executing one of the most blockbuster signings in recent history. Rumors are heating up that the Dodgers are targeting a dual acquisition of none other than Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr., two of the most electrifying talents in Major League Baseball today. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the organization hint that talks are progressing rapidly. And if the deal goes through, it could reshape the landscape of the National League and elevate the Dodgers to an almost unstoppable force. Aaron Judge, the towering outfielder known for his prodigious power and leadership with the New York Yankees, has long been a coveted prize for teams looking to add a game-changing bat. The possibility of Judge leaving the Bronx for Los Angeles is the kind of blockbuster news that fans and analysts alike have only dreamed of, especially given the Dodgers' history of attracting top-tier talent and their hunger to claim another. World Series title, Judge's ability to launch mammoth home runs and command respect in the lineup would be an immense boost to the Dodgers' offense, complementing their already potent roster. Equally captivating is the potential addition of Bobby Witt Jr., a young phenom regarded as one of baseball's brightest rising stars. The dynamic shortstop and third baseman brings a rare combination of speed, power, and defensive prowess, making him an asset on both sides of the game. Witt's versatility and youthful energy could inject a fresh spark into the Dodgers' infield, providing balance to their lineup and a foundation for sustained success in the years ahead. The Dodgers front office has reportedly been exploring all avenues to secure Witt, seeing him as a cornerstone for their future. Speculation about this double signing began to gain traction after several insiders noted unusual movements within. The Dodgers management and scouts being spotted at key games where Judge and Witt were playing. While the Yankees and Witt's current team have yet to comment, the buzz is that the Dodgers are willing to go all in, possibly offering a combination of cash, prospects, and future draft picks to make this ambitious plan a reality. Should this rumors materialize into confirmed signings, the Dodgers would instantly become one of the most fearsome teams in baseball, boasting a lineup that blends veteran star power with emerging youth. Fans are already imagining the thrilling possibilities. Judge's towering homers at Dodger Stadium, paired with Witt's electric playmaking on the infield, could create a spectacle few teams could match. Of course, with such high-profile moves come challenges, including salary cap considerations and team chemistry. But the Dodgers have proven time and again their ability to integrate talent and compete at the highest level. For now, the baseball community waits with bated breath. Is this just an ambitious rumor, or are the Dodgers truly gearing up to make the biggest splash of the offseason? If the whispers hold true, the 2025 season could be one of the most exciting yet, as LA fans prepare to welcome two of baseball's brightest stars under one blue and white banner. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.